Happy Monday, people. Welcome to Pink Passion Plus Power. I just wanted to jump on here real quick. Um, on this Monday madness. It was a pretty good Monday. A typical busy Monday, especially I was coming off a 3-day weekend. So it took me a little bit just to get back into the swing of things. But your girl came through like shining bright colors as always. So just wanted to just encourage somebody today. You know, if you're feeling attacked uh, by someone, you're feeling that you've been plotted against, or um, that it's not being treated fairly, um, by someone who has been promoted, who has a title, who is above you, who uses their power and authority, negatively, um, to, you know, you're supposed to bow down to them because of their title or their position. You know what I'm saying? And, it can stir up a whole lot of things, especially if you're not one to just bow down because you know who you are, you know whose you are. And you're just not going to bow down to know any and everybody, because that is me. That's me. But anyway, so I just know that you can, just take it to God and just go before God and know that God always has a ram in the bush for you, that God already has it worked out. God already knew that these things was going to happen before they happened, and he always has something or somebody in position to be that ram in the bush for you. Um, you know, Haman and Mordecai in the book of Esther, they didn't see eye to eye because Mordecai wouldn't bow down and give homage to Haman after he had got promoted, and he wasn't liking that. You know, he, you know, he, you know, you, his ego was tampered with because Mordecai wouldn't bow down, and he wasn't being obedient. Um, to him, like everybody else was doing, because maybe Mordecai knew his worth. He knew who he was. He knew that he was a Jew, and he knew that he was a chosen one. So, he refused to bow down. And in the midst of that, Haman came up with a plot that he didn't just want to just destroy Mordecai, who he had the issue with. He wanted to take out all the Jews. He wanted to take all the Jews out. Okay? So, people get the big heads when they get them little titles and promotions, you know what I'm saying? And they will abuse their authority. They will use their power and authority negatively. You know what I'm saying? And they want you to bow down to them. And how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? You know what I'm saying? But then, look at the whole situation with Mordecai and with Esther, from the beginning. Um, they didn't know that this was going to transpire when he suggested that, Esther be chosen as one of the women to be prepared, to be prepped to go before the king. And then she ended up finding favor with the king, and she was accepted by the king. She was chosen and found favor with the king already before all of the issues happened between Mordecai and Haman. So Esther was already in position to be that ram in the bush when they didn't even know what was about to happen or what was about to transpire. They didn't even know that Haman was about to get promoted. But God knew. God knew. God knew. And he paved the way for Esther. He put Esther in a position because he knew that she wasn't going to be a punk. He knew that she was strong enough to be that one to, when Mordecai said, told her what was happening, and he said that you are the only one, our only hope is to go before the king. God already had her in position. She already had found favor in his eyes. And she knew that nobody goes before the king unless they are called. So she had to take her chances. And God knew that she would do it. God knew she would do it. God knew that she would stand for her people. She said, I'm going to do it. If I perish, I perish. But I'm going to go. So she fasted and she prayed for 3 days. And she had her maids and servants, they all fasted and prayed with her for 3 days, consecutive days, no food or drink. And God gave her the strength and the courage to go before the king, and she had already had favor before she got there. It was already worked out. God had already put her in position to be that ram in the bush for her people. You hear me? So stop worrying about thinking that these people have so much power and authority over you that they're putting fear into you, and you think that they have the authority to strip you from your jobs or whatever positions you in, whatever the situation is that you're in, just know that God has someone already in position that's fighting your battle. That's fighting your battles. Just know that you got to believe. You got to believe. You got to know who you are. You got to know that you are one of God's chosen. And you got to stand on that regardless of what comes up against you, how they may want you to bow, how they want you to surrender and to come out of your rightful place and bow down to them. You got to take a stand. You got to take a stand for who you are, for your kingdom position, for you're chosen. If you're chosen, you got to stand. You got to stand. God said when you stand and you can't stand no more, what you do, you keep standing. You got to keep standing and know that God got that ram in the bush. He already got it worked out. He knew what was going to transpire before you did. So he already had it already set up. You don't always know and don't see how he's going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And Mordecai didn't know that he was going to need Esther and that she would be putting her life on the line for them to not be killed, attacked and killed. He didn't know that at the time. But God had it worked out because he stood his ground. He knew who he was. And he knew who to go to when he became aware of the attack. He knew who to go to. He began to cry out. He wasn't kind of happy. He wasn't finna lay down and allow his people to be taken out. It's time to fight, people. It's time to rise up. It's time to do something because you know that God already got everybody in position. If you call to it, he's going to do it. If he call you to it, he's already done it. You just have to walk through it. Okay? So I hope that helps somebody today. Just know that whatever situation that you're dealing with, that God always got a ram in the bush for his chosen ones. His chosen ones. Even when you don't know that you're going to need that ram in the bush, God already has it already worked out for you. So y'all have a good night. Bye.